Hello, everybody. Andy Jacob here with the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. I have a fun show today, a great show. I mean, we love bringing entrepreneurs on the show that are really leading the charge in their particular space, their particular vertical. And one thing that's very fascinating is there are so many experiences now going on throughout the world, and the companies that are leading the charge are really changing the lives of their clients. And we've been able to invite a real leader in the space on the show. Her name is Danielle Diliberti. She, of course, is the CEO of Sommsation, and they've made a wonderful business for tasting wine, making the experience of wine tasting simple and beautiful for their clients. It's so great. She's on the show today. You're going to love the background that she's showing. She's actually live at a winery today. And Danielle, welcome to the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm here in Sonoma at a vineyard. I think it was just bud break for the season. So everyone is really excited for the growing season. And Sommsation's job really is to bring excellent wines from independent wineries, especially those lesser known wineries. So we provide access, connection, and experience and expertise to our customers through partnering with wineries and independent sommeliers as well.
I love it. I mean, it really is a great business model you've put together. Let's get into it. Tell us about Sommsation, and then we have so many questions for you.
Absolutely. So Sommsation was really born out of the need to bring people better access to wine. When we think about the food and beverage industry, wine is really a traditional concept, but leveraging technology and really making it accessible and taking people on a journey is our goal. So we're really about just giving customers the experience that they want, whether you're a wine aficionado and you're investing in a cellar, or you're new to wine and you want to learn what the difference is between table grapes and wine grapes, so to speak.
I love it. And of course, when I go to a restaurant, I'm always thinking about which wine I'm going to have, and it gets a little confusing and it gets a little sort of overbearing for people that are not like aficionados, like you say, but you've made the entire experience very simple. And of course, you connect world-class wines and top independent wineries really to people that want to experience this. So let's talk about it. How do you make wine tasting simple, and how do people get involved?
Sure. So our website, which is sommsation.com, is really where everything's happening. We have created a one-stop shop, quite literally, for anyone that's interested in wine to go peruse our website, learn more about the tasting notes that come from the winemakers themselves. So we partner directly with the wineries and the winemakers to ensure that all of the information is extremely accurate. So we wanted to fill that gap within the industry of typically you only come to wine country and get to learn about these wines or get to engage with sommeliers or the winemakers unless you're in a restaurant that has a sommelier. So we decided to bring that to the internet, and we've created a direct-to-consumer portal where our winery partners send wines directly to our buyers, and customers can just choose wine through our online shop, or they can book an experience in which they have a private sommelier to lead them through typically a 90-minute wine tasting experience. And our sommeliers will go as deep into the industry or a particular wine that a customer would like, or they can talk a little bit more about the industry as a whole or their experience, because sommeliers are passionate, winemakers are passionate, and they are all just such a wealth of knowledge that makes the bottle experience so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, it's so great, Danielle. Of course, the reviews are amazing. Only select a date and a time and kind of carve out 90 minutes, right, for you and maybe some friends. I want to talk to you about whether you can invite other people from around the country into a wine taste, but then just leave the rest to Danielle and her team. Isn't that the way that it works?
That's exactly how it works. You come in, you pick a time and a date, and you pick your wine, or our concierge can pick the wine for you. And all you have to do is check your email, and someone 21 years or older needs to be home to get the package, because those are the rules of the road that we have no control over. But as soon as the wine hits your doorstep, then all you have to do is have an internet connection. It could be on your computer, it could be on your phone. And we absolutely suggest that our clients bring guests with them. So we've done wine tasting experiences as big as 600 for private events. I think our sweet spot is probably about 15 to 20. So that way, everyone that's doing a virtual tasting experience, or you might have a group together and have a sommelier, come in virtually. It's a really great group event, so to speak. It's hard to get 20 people to a single vineyard in Napa Valley, but it's a lot easier to have 20 people either together or on a computer. So we bring Napa Valley to them.
I love it. I'm thinking about it right now. I've got 10, 15 people that I want to invite into a wine taste experience. I mean, it's just a great idea. Now, you talk about your business, your culture as being a place to connect and sip and celebrate. Why is this connection with people? Like, I'm thinking about it myself, and I want to connect with some people all around the country, have one of these fabulous connect, sip, celebrate experiences that you offer. Why is that connection, you think, becoming such an important part of our world, and why so many people want to do that now?
Absolutely. So, I mean, I don't think that connection is new, right? When you think about experiences, whether they're with your colleagues, your friends, your family, it's typically to enjoy yourself or to reward yourself. And so when we think about connection at Sommsation, we think about a whole bunch of different things. It's connecting with the earth and the grapes that are growing there, and the winemakers that are mixing that art and science to bring something great to the table. And then we think about connection as a way to get together with, again, friends, family, colleagues, and reward yourself or enjoy yourself. Also, we think about it as a sense of discovery, right? When you're connecting with friends and family, when you're connecting with a glass of wine, a lot of that has to do with discovery, learning new things, having conversation. And I think wine has been a tried and true way to connect people. And so we've kind of extended that connection from just the social or emotional aspect to also the digital aspect. So we use our technology to quite literally connect people from wherever they are, as long as it's legal to send wine to that location, and expand that connection, really extend the reach of it and make it a little bit more accessible, but also layer in that level of expertise. So not only are you having a really good time, but you're also hopefully taking something away from it, whether it's, a knowledge point or a new taste bud or a new emotion or something like that. It's really about what journey each customer goes on, and what the connection means to them. So we try to facilitate that as best we can to make sure that we give people what they want and need.
I love it. Let's talk about the top independent wineries, because the independent winery business and space is very fascinating. You have so many passionate people that love the grape, love the wine, love the production. How do you find these independent wineries in your journey? Do they come to you? Do you have a group of people that search them out? How do you bring those independent wineries to the table, so to speak?
So the relationship we have with independent wineries is core to Sommsation. When you think about just in the US alone, there's over 8,000 small wineries, many of which are not available outside of their own tasting room or their own wine club. And many of them have limited production by design because they put such pride into what they create. So we have a team of product experts, sommeliers, folks that have been in the wine industry, team members that grew up in wine country themselves, that review every winery partner that we work with, and we make sure that it's a mutual fit. So we typically look for 500 to 10,000 cases, sometimes a little bit bigger, independently family owned, and we extend their tasting room or D2C or direct to consumer, as we call it, channels out to customers. So that way we make it much more accessible for the customer. About 80% of our wineries are sustainable. And so that could be in organic, biodynamic farming, a whole slew of things. So each of our winery partners have their own story to tell, and we facilitate that storytelling for them, connecting them with customers, because every winery, every varietal is so different, and that's really what Sommsation is about: is empowering all of the independent winemakers and sommeliers and other people in the industry to connect with our consumer.
Yeah, I love it. And of course, I take the class, or I take the event, or I take the immersive experience, I'll call it, and I love it. And the people that I bring in love it. And we say to ourselves, wow, we need more of this wine. I mean, we only had enough wine for the wine tasting. How do I then quickly order more wine? Is it through your system? Is it through the independent winery? Or is it a combination with a sort of a technology platform?
Yeah, so Sommsation is designed to make it really easy for the customer. So when you see something you like, you come back and you just buy more. So everyone can go onto the website, create their own profile, so they get to keep track of which wines they've tasted, what they've liked, what they didn't like. And of course, our concierge and sommelier team is always happy to give additional recommendations or provide new ideas on how to find that quality wine. But after someone does a tasting, that's typically always what happens is you say, I've never heard of this winery, or I haven't had this bottle before. This is great. I want more. And so you basically just go to your cart, add some quantity, and then it shows up at your door. Very, very simple. You can do it all from your phone if you want to.
I love it. And of course, when you build something like this, you have to have a team, and you have to have a great team. Let's talk about how important as an entrepreneur the team is to Sommsation. I mean, your background experience is amazing. If I was to talk about what you've done in your life, I'd be here for 30 minutes just talking about all the work you've done prior, and as well as being the CEO of Sommsation. But let's talk about team. How important is the team to pull this off?
Without the team, we wouldn't have a business, right? We employ a cross-disciplinary team at Sommsation, and we're actually a dispersed workforce. So for a company that's about 2 years old, if you do the math, then you realize that we came up with Sommsation and really launched it in the midst of the pandemic, and where most people were mandated to stay at home. So we started to build the business from our own necessities, quite frankly, of needing to connect and get access to something that in a lot of states wasn't even available. So our team is split up throughout the country, and we have a great technology and engineering team, and we have a lot of industry experts that are engaging with the wineries every single day, and making sure that our customers are getting what they want. And then it's really about the customer experience. So our concierge, our customer experience team, and everyone that has a touch point to the customer is really focused on delivering top quality hospitality-like service through our technology alongside the wineries and sommeliers.
Wow, I love it. Now let's talk about if there's a corporate approach. In other words, there's a lot of entrepreneurs and CEOs and founders that watch the show. Maybe they have a company and they're saying to themselves, wow, this could be a fun sort of outing for my company, or maybe this might resonate for some members of my team. Do you also provide these experiences to companies and corporations?
We absolutely do. So I'm glad you asked that question. Servicing the business world or the corporate world is a huge part of our business. And especially what I talked about earlier with so many different working models now, you don't have some of the traditional go to the office, go to a team dinner, do an annual holiday party, things like that. There's just so many different business models out there that Sommsation serves the business community in a lot of different ways. So I have a few articles out right now in HR.com and thinking about using Sommsation as an employee engagement tool. So businesses can use it for customers or for their own clients. Holiday gifting is a big one. We have a lot of customers who, want to gift some great wine to their colleagues or to their partners or to their clients. And so they come to Sommsation. And the nice thing is you can do that year over year. And who doesn't love a great bottle of wine as a gift? But I think our biggest sweet spot right now is really about employee engagement. So rewarding your team members for a job well done, or for a project complete, or for a big deal win, and doing that with a wine tasting. And the great thing about doing a business wine tasting is a couple of things. One, everyone can do it from the safety and comfort of their own home. So you don't have to get people to travel, and people that have kids or a significant other, you can manage around that schedule. And a lot of times your significant other can enjoy the fruits of your labor as well. And then also we make it so that it's available to everyone. Like we said, you just pick a time and a date, but also we can accommodate non-drinkers. So we do pairings for non-alcoholic beverages or charcuterie boards or different types of food pairings, really to let the experience be whatever the business needs, and whatever your employees want. So again, sometimes we do executive tastings where, another CEO is pulling out all of the stops for their executive team. Other times it's a team ranging for people in their early 20s, to the partner on the group. So you have different areas of wine expertise, and we really try to make it engaging and fun. One of the things that we've learned is, doing something like a virtual wine tasting is really a great way to not only break the ice, but get to know your colleagues or your clients a little bit better, because people get friendly and loose after a glass of wine. But again, it's a safe professional setting. So it's just a really great engagement tool as well.
Yeah, I love it. And for the CEOs and entrepreneurs watching the show, it's a great way also to invite some of your key clients or clients that you're looking to work with in the future into this experience so you can get to know them in a safe environment. And also, I think it brings across a personality, which is very important in selling and to building relationships. So it's a great connectivity tool that you've built here, Danielle. Let's talk about your wine experts. I mean, they look like it's a who's who of wine experts. We've been on the website. I mean, everybody has their picture up there. They're masters at their craft. How does someone become one of your partners or one of your wine experts at Sommsation?
Two of the things that I learned as we've grown the business is, one, the passion of wine professionals is just unprecedented. They, are up before sunrise, are tasting grapes all year round, are constantly learning and practicing their craft. And it's not only winemakers, but it's sommeliers as well. And so not only are they passionate and hardworking and extremely knowledgeable, but it's also such a relationship business. You see sommeliers that have trained in France and Italy and Spain and Oregon and Washington and California, and in the network of people, almost everyone knows everyone because they've had to do so much cross collaboration. We work with a handful of master sommeliers too, and there's only 260 some in the entire world, and one of the hardest credentials to get. So for us, it's a relationship business, and it's about making sure that our sommeliers are knowledgeable and can meet the demands of our customers. So we basically have built our network from the inside out. And then now as Sommsation is growing, there's sommeliers that can come to our site and apply. And we go through an application process and make sure that they understand everything that we're looking to do as a business, making sure that they have the tools they need to deliver to our customers. And so we expect to see this continue to grow, because that's the beauty of a technology company, right? It's meant to scale. It's meant to reach a lot of people in a really convenient way.
Yeah, I definitely could see this even going outside of the US and into other countries where they love wine as much as people in the United States. Let's talk about price point, because we've been on the site. There's all kinds of wonderful wine. I mean, one of the wines, it's called 100 years in the making, and, the winemaking traditions, they use 100-plus-year-old vines from I think it's called the Devereux Wine Farms and Winery, if I've got that name right. So the price point of that is a little bit higher than some of the others. What is the sweet spot of price point for the wines that you sell at Sommsation?
The price point for the wines vary pretty greatly, and the winemakers and the vineyards set the pricing, which is a unique proposition that Sommsation gives to customers that is pretty hard to find. So all of the pricing is set by the winemakers, and our pricing range is from about $25 up to $300 or $400 per bottle. And then, of course, we always have seller series or libraries from our winemakers where they might want to promote something that is really limited limited production. And so typically the price is derivative of how the wine is made, set by each winemaker. Interesting enough, Devero is actually just up the road from where I'm at, and I was talking to the winemaker Ridge yesterday.
Wow, it's so fantastic. I want to jump back to the experience just for a moment, because I'm thinking to myself, so many people are going to hear about this. They're going to love it. They want in, they want to set it up. But the question they're going to ask is, how long does it take between the time I sort of reach out to Sommsation, fill out the form, talk to your experts, between the time that I can talk to them, get it organized, get everything shipped, and then actually have the event?
Sure. For those customers that know what they want, we can schedule an event within 2 weeks. In some cases, it takes a little bit longer, but that's typically dependent on our client. So all a client needs to do to book an experience is come to us with a budget and a set of addresses for those guests that they want to include, and then the Sommsation team basically takes care of the rest. So we typically suggest at least 2 weeks for planning, and then depending on the weather, wine will ship from the wineries either through ground shipping or sometimes 2-day air. So as it relates to getting things fast, customers can reach out to our concierge team, so that way we can get shipments done, within the same week if we absolutely need to accommodate a client that way.
And when a client reaches out, do you share with them what you suggest for the wine tasting experience, or do you take highlights from what they're saying? Like maybe they say, oh, I like sparkling rosé, or I like big and bold reds, or a certain type of distinctive white. Do you work with them to sort of custom design the experience?
Absolutely. We can custom build an experience based on a client's preferences. So I think you kind of see two camps. You have clients that come in and know exactly what they want or exactly what they're looking for, in which case they can just go onto the website and make the transaction themselves. But I think a lot of people actually really enjoy connecting with our team and getting some of their professional recommendations. So our wine experts, typically have a lot of recommendations right in hand. And it really depends on the client's preferences, what they're looking for in terms of, tried and true or trying something new. We really like to get people out of their comfort zone and listen to what they like and try to offer some new recommendations as well.
And I do think you have wines from outside the country as well. Let's talk about that. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the majority of our wines are domestic, but we have a winery partner from Argentina, and we do plan to expand internationally. So some of the grapes come from Argentina or Italy, Spain, or France. And we ship, again, to every state typically that is allowed to have shipping. And we've also shipped out to the UK and Canada so far, but we do expect to expand pretty rapidly here.
I love it, Danielle. And of course, you have a great background, great experience as an entrepreneur and an executive. Before I let you go, it's just beautiful there. I know you want to get out and go visit some of the amazing wineries throughout the area for such a beautiful day today. I want to talk about entrepreneurship. I want to give back to the entrepreneurs watching the show. Some of them are watching this. They might be maybe hitting a tough time. Maybe they're freezing in the frame a little bit. Maybe they're younger. They haven't been through the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur. So I'm hoping you might be able to share some insight and some positive messaging to the entrepreneurs watching the show about what it takes to get through a tough time and keep on pushing.
Sure. Entrepreneurship is a wild ride, let me tell you. No 2 days look the same. And I think it's really about a mindset. So one of the things that I always tell my team is it's okay to fail. It's okay to misstep. Just do it quickly and make sure we're communicating. So I think entrepreneurship is about taking calculated risks, right? Thinking about where you're willing to take a risk versus where you need to play it safe. And one of the things that I also try to tell my team and that I'm thinking about all the time is how you stay really disciplined without trying to boil the ocean, right? Because when you're building a business, there's so much opportunity. There's so many things you want to get your hands on. But staying disciplined to put one foot in front of the other really ensures that everyone's on the same page, and typically leads to something really great. So I think thinking big, but being disciplined and trying to simplify ideas, to execute on is really the way to go. But also it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn. I think typically you're never going to get everything right the first time. So you have to go in with that mindset of knowing that you're going to learn from it, knowing that everything's not going to happen exactly the way you expected the first time, and enjoying the ride, even when it comes with stress or mistakes or repeat work, things like that. It's really about enjoying the ride, learning, and like I said, communicating, engaging with those around you, because no entrepreneur can do it alone. That's for sure.
Yeah, powerful advice for the people watching the show, especially if you're having a tough time in business or a younger entrepreneur, maybe hitting a wall or hitting a roadblock. Rewind what Danielle just said. It's powerful advice coming from a real expert, someone that's done such a great job in her career as a leader and now leading Sommsation. It's just a great story. Love what you're doing. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. It looks like you just have a beautiful day ahead of you in beautiful Northern California. And thank you so much for coming on the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Andy, thank you so much. It was a pleasure, and I'm gonna go attack wine country here.